Long before European ships arrived, this land was home to hundreds of thriving indigenous nations, each with its own language, beliefs, and systems of government. From the cities of Cahokia to the pueblos of the Southwest, these societies built, farmed, and traded across the continent. In 1492, European explorers like Columbus arrived, seeking riches and new routes, but instead found a land teeming with life and resources. Their arrival brought new technologies, religions, and devastating diseases that decimated native populations. Colonization quickly followed, as Spain, France, and England claimed vast territories, often through conflict and displacement. The newcomers saw the land as property, clashing with indigenous views of stewardship. England established 13 colonies along the Atlantic, each with its own character, some seeking religious freedom, others economic gain. Immigrants from across Europe arrived, forging new communities. Yet, these settlers remained subjects of the British Crown, governed from afar. Over time, a distinct American identity began to take root, shaped by the wilderness and the promise of a new world. The stage was set for a dramatic transformation. As the colonies grew, tensions with Britain mounted over taxes and representation. The cry of "no taxation without representation" united colonists from north to south. In 1775, revolution erupted. A year later, the Declaration of Independence boldly proclaimed liberty and equality. Against all odds, the Continental Army, led by George Washington and aided by France, won independence in 1783. Building a nation proved difficult. The first government was too weak, so leaders drafted the U.S. Constitution, creating a system of checks and balances. Yet, the new nation was deeply flawed. Slavery persisted, and indigenous rights were ignored. The contradiction of liberty for some and bondage for others cast a long shadow. The United States expanded, but its founding ideals remained out of reach for many. This unresolved tension would shape the nation's future. The struggle for true equality had only just begun. The United States pushed west, driven by manifest destiny and dreams of opportunity. This expansion meant the forced removal of native peoples and the tragedy of the Trail of Tears. As new states joined the Union, fierce debates erupted over slavery. Industrial North versus agrarian, slaveholding South. Compromises failed to bridge the divide. In 1860, Abraham Lincoln's election triggered Southern secession and the Civil War. For 4 years, the nation was torn apart in its bloodiest conflict. The Union's victory in 1865 ended slavery and affirmed the nation's unity. Reconstruction brought hope and struggle, as nearly 4 million freed African Americans sought their place in society. The South was left in ruins and the promise of equality remained elusive. The wounds of war and injustice would linger for generations. America had survived, but its greatest challenges lay ahead. The quest for a more perfect union continued. After the Civil War, America transformed. Railroads, factories, and cities rose, fueled by waves of immigrants seeking new lives. The nation's economic power grew, and by the 20th century America was a global force. World Wars I and II drew the U.S. onto the world stage, helping defeat fascism and emerging as a superpower. The Cold War followed, shaping decades of global politics. At home, the civil rights movement challenged segregation and injustice, led by figures like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Landmark laws brought progress, but the struggle for equality persisted. America reached for the stars, landing astronauts on the moon in 1969. The end of the Cold War brought new challenges: terrorism, political division, and economic change. Today, America remains a nation of diversity and innovation, still striving to fulfill its founding ideals. Its story is one of reinvention, resilience, and the ongoing pursuit of liberty and justice for all. The journey to a more perfect union continues.